What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show, and it's Monday morning as I'm filming this video. You guys are going to be seeing this today, and I'm just getting back from trying to get my truck inspected, and guess what? That failed. It failed because of the parking brake, and now I have to get that fixed. This was not how I wanted to start the new week, and I'm not talking about my truck failing inspection either. I'm talking about having to sit here and do this video, but I feel like I probably should do this video, and maybe some of you want to hear my response to everything that's been going on as of late with not only Remy, but this new individual, Chris, who we just featured yesterday. And I don't even honestly know where to begin with all of this. There's no notes that I have for this, but with all of the comments that have been from the previous two videos and everything with comments on Facebook, I feel like I really should talk about this situation. And the first thing that I want to start with is Remy and the drug test that we just recently gave to him that looked like pure water. You know, the first thing that I want to say is I genuinely like Remy. I genuinely like everybody who we get a chance to meet, who I get a chance to meet, and try in some way to help them after prison. That's what this is all about, in my own personal opinion, is trying to help people stand a better chance out here in the free world. And each individual that we meet, introduce, who I introduce you guys to, I put myself out there and I put After Prison Show out there introducing these people because we have no idea whether these people are gonna make it, whether they're not gonna make it, whether they're gonna be liked, whether they're gonna be hated, or whether they're gonna, struggle along the way. And a big part of the struggle that we oftentimes see here is in relation to drug abuse and addiction. And Remy is a perfect example of that. Remy is a guy who's gotten high his entire life, who has struggled with addiction, who we introduced on After Prison Show, and when we first introduced this guy, it seemed like, people were actually rooting for this guy. But then Remy would disappear, he would move to a different city with his kid's mother, and he would start his life there. And then a couple of months later, we would get a chance to do an update video with Remy, and that was not the last video we did with Remy, but the one previous, Where's Remy? What happened to Remy? And basically everybody was saying in that video he looked like he was high as gas. I guess the only thing I can say in relation to that is everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Jellicoe and I went over there. We've said this before. It didn't really look like, I didn't think he was getting high. But maybe you guys see it better. A lot of people said they thought Remy looked like he was getting high. Even said the same thing about his kid's mother. And I would talk to Remy, I don't know, maybe a week or two after we did that video, and I expected him to not be wanting to do any more videos with us. I could have only imagined that those comments would have been enough for him to just say, you know what? I don't even need this. But he wouldn't say that, and he would actually agree to us coming to see him again. Little did he know we would be coming over there to ask him to take the drug test, which we just featured in the last video, and he would agree to do that. And everybody said that that test looked like it was pure water. Joe, you had to know that test was pure water. In fact, let me just read some of the top comments from that video. We're not mad Jellicoe passed the test. We're pissed you are telling us you truly believe Remy passed. Mad respect to Jellicoe for actually peeing in the cup, unlike Remy who used tap water. It's so obvious he put water in the cup. There isn't a single comment here that is defending Remy. So is that saying something? Or are you just jumping on the bandwagon of everybody else? I honestly don't know. And everybody is entitled to their opinion. The sample that he provided us was extremely clear. And yes, you can hear in the video Remy running the water after he got done using the bathroom, which I actually thought was a good thing as I was editing the video and putting it together, because I was like, well, damn, at least you're hearing that the man is washing his hands.
Does it say how much you need? You need a whole cup?
I don't think we need the whole cup.
All right. Well, you got 3/4 of it.
Oh, and it also shows you on here 2 lines positive, negative. 2 lines
Fuck it.
pass. 1 line means you fail.
You get 3/4 of a cup, bro.
Oh, Joe, I know you're not going to sit here and tell us that you believe that he actually took this test. You know what? I am going to tell you that. I do believe that the man actually took the test. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and I'm admitting it. Then I'm just the biggest idiot. Whatever. Maybe you guys are smarter than me. Maybe I'm not that smart. I don't know, and I don't care. But I will tell you this. The man took the test. The sample, it was extremely clear. If Remy added water to the test in an attempt to try to dilute the test, that's a possibility. If Remy just ran the water and put that water in the cup as well, that's also a possibility too. Or maybe Remy has just been drinking a lot of water lately. Or maybe Remy actually really did take the test and it just came out that clear. I don't know. There's a lot of different hypotheses to this entire situation. I'm not going to sit here and try to defend like my own personal belief in the situation, because just like I say I respect y'all for your opinions, y'all to respect me for mine. Whether you agree with it or you don't. I will say this though. You know, Remy ran the water in the bathroom. He didn't run it for very long. That's enough time for him to add water to that test to possibly attempt to dilute it. But I honestly don't know. You know, I would imagine that if you were going to try to add water to a test in an effort to dilute it, you know, you would need to run that water for just a little bit to get that water hot enough so that it doesn't affect the test from not performing. Because I'm pretty damn sure them tests need to have body temperature samples put in them for them tests to even register. And maybe I'm wrong, who knows? I know there's been times in the past when I was using, back when I was 18 years old, and I attempted to try to beat tests either by drinking tons of water or bringing some clean pee in with me tucked between my legs. And that didn't honestly work. When I put that clean pee in the cup and it didn't register as being 98 point whatever degrees, whatever body temperature is. And the PO who was giving me that test was adamant that I failed the test, that I tried to beat the test. And me being the lying piece of trash that I was back then, I just kept saying, no, that test is defective. I ain't do nothing wrong. They ended up throwing away that test, not even using that as a regular test, not believing me at all, and just told me to come back in a week and take another one. Could have violated me right there on the spot. But you know, that's a lot to ask of a person to do, and not just to, you know, be somebody who's like, hey man, I want you to take a drug test and prove to me you're clean. But to also say, hey man, I want you to do that, and then we're gonna make it a video and upload it to YouTube. I always want to try to keep things above board with what we do here on After Prison Show. And I always want to go up and beyond in an effort to prove one way or another what an individual is doing. But this situation right here caused a lot of other opinions to form. If I'm wrong, I truly, sincerely apologize. Whether I'm wrong for believing that Remy actually did take that test, or whether I'm wrong for even asking him to take that test in the first place. You know, if I'm wrong, I've got no problem admitting that I'm wrong. But unfortunately, this is where we're at. We're in a situation where we wanted to prove one way or another whether Remy was clean or if he wasn't by asking him to take the test, which he did, and then provided a sample that was ultra clear, looking pretty close to water. And that was what we got. And you could also hear the water running in the bathroom while he was in there. I want to bring this up and then I'm going to move on. You know, it's Monday right now. Yesterday, Remy would actually give me a call. And he was pretty upset about the comments on the video. Hey man, what's up with that? And I didn't honestly know what to say to him. It's YouTube. You know, there's going to be comments. Everybody is entitled to an opinion, whatever. I honestly just don't know what to say. And I'm not trying to tell you this so that you'll feel sorry for this guy, because I ultimately realize at this point, many of you could care less about this dude. You could probably care less about a lot of things, but I respect your opinion nonetheless. But I tell you this because it was an awkward phone call to have, trying in some way to justify this end result. Hey, Remy, nobody believes that you really took the test. They believe that you cheated it. They believe that it was pure tea water. I don't know what to do. You know, I should have just kept the camera right over your damn shoulder the entire time in the bathroom. Or maybe we should have sent it into a lab. I mean, Jesus, isn't that taking things to the extreme? But there were two things that I realized, you know, that came from that phone call that I had with Remy. And the first one is that, you know, I know a lot of people probably don't even want to see Remy anymore. Well, you probably don't have to worry about that, because I'm quite certain this guy could care less to ever do another video. And ultimately, what does he have to prove to anybody? The only person he has to prove anything to is himself. And whether he does that in one way or another, whether he does it the right way or the wrong way, ultimately at the end of the day, that responsibility only lies with himself. But I'm pretty sure, Remy is done with After Prison Show. And second, as I'm talking to Remy, an individual who we introduced hoping to help in some way chronicle the story up, I'm thinking to myself during this phone call and just play devil's advocate. Just play devil's advocate, even if you don't believe it at all. Even if you are so adamant that this man cheated or beat this test or whatever. Let's just say hypothetically, the man really is clean. I know that may be hard to believe. In the previous video, he admitted that he relapsed. If he admitted it then, why wouldn't he admit it at this point? But let's just say hypothetically, if you don't believe that he actually was, that he was clean. I'm sitting here having a phone call with this dude, and it's almost feeling like, Jesus Christ, all of this could be a reason for this guy to just fall back. And I'm not just talking about from making videos, but maybe fall back into his old ways. Reading all of these horrible comments. And I'm not going to put the blame on you, Joe. You try to justify this in a way that I don't care. But that's how I was feeling. Because what I created was After Prison Show, which first started out chronicling my story and then became so much bigger than me, with so many other stories that we have featured and so many other people that we have tried to work with and help, and it doesn't always work out. But I'm on the phone with a guy yesterday who we've attempted to work with in some form or fashion, feeling like, what if After Prison Show is the reason why this guy just relapses again? Everything that I have tried to create with After Prison Show, this channel, this movement, this positivity type of a thing, it almost seems like it's backfiring at this point. It almost feels like it's, no matter what we do, there's just so much negativity behind it all. What the did we ever do to y'all? And if you don't like it, you ain't got to watch it, because there are 100, I guarantee you at least 100 other prison-related YouTube channels out. You want, and a bazillion other channels about anything else. If you don't like it, I can't make you like it. And I'm done trying to do that. I don't always make the right decision. And don't feel sorry for me, because this is not no guilt trip or no boo-hoo. I don't always make the right decision. And maybe paying mind to all of those comments from the first update video we did with Remy, where everybody said he was high, and then me thinking it might be a good idea to go do this drug test to prove one way or another. Maybe it wasn't the best idea. Maybe I should have just left well enough alone. I will say this though. I'm sorry, truly sorry, if I have in some way, for whatever reason, lost the trust of you, let you down, done something that you haven't liked, or maybe I continuously do. I honestly don't know. If I have offended you in any way, I truly do apologize. And I'm not doing that to try to save face. None of this is an attempt to save face. This is just my honest response to all that's been going on as of late. Between the YouTube comments that have, for whatever reason, just been overcome with so much toxicness. And also on the Facebook fan page as well, the After Prison Show Facebook fan page. There's a lot of people who genuinely just cannot stand me and hate my guts. And I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry for whatever it is that made you feel that way. I don't do what I do, looking to make you mad or whatever. But ultimately, this isn't about you. This is about After Prison Show and people taking the chance to showcase and share their own personal experiences in an effort or for a possibility that it might help somebody else. It's not guaranteed to do so. Or maybe it just entertains somebody. Wow, I've never heard anything that crazy because I've never lived it. When I created this, I did so believing that if it ever found any type of success, that I would do everything in my power to try to help folks. But at this point, it damn sure don't feel like we're doing too much help, especially in relation to the comments. For a person to be willing, first of all, to share their story, to put themselves completely out there, I guess maybe they should already know what to expect, or some people don't really even have any idea. They don't know nothing about YouTube. And I say all of that because, I'm asking you, and I know it's probably not even like, I'm saying all of that because I'm asking you, look, man, I respect your opinions. It's YouTube. You got every right in the world to type whatever you want to type. But, I don't know, maybe give somebody a chance. Give people a chance. Or try to look at a situation with an open mind, possibly. Hell, I don't know. I'm saddened by all of this. I really am. You know, because now it makes me almost fearful to try to introduce new people, even though we probably will still continue to do so. And you know, I want to move on to the other individual who we just featured yesterday. And granted, the title of that video alone was enough to get the comments started. 4 dirties in 4 months since being released from prison, this individual, Chris, who we just introduced for the very first time yesterday, who, you know, he has that look. He has the look like he is using. For sure, I see it when I'm over there. I don't honestly know that he is or he isn't. But at this point, especially with everything that's just happened with Remy, you know, what right do I got to ask and invade a person's privacy? Hey man, you know, you want to take this drug test? I knew introducing Chris was gonna, you know, come with its own different can of worms and just a lot of, you know, comments about him looking like he's using. I read comments that said he looked like he was nodding off. I wasn't honestly paying attention to much of that. Granted, I did see a few things, but, you know, I was really honored, probably poor choice of word. I was really interested in hearing and having him share the story that he did yesterday about the home invasion that took place in the house where he is living at, which was entirely fueled because of drugs and addiction. And I wanted to share that story because I truly believe that, 1, people were going to find that absolutely crazy and interesting. And 2, you never know who that reaches in an effort that maybe it helps them. Does it honestly? Who the hell knows at this point? You know, not everything that we do here is going to be pretty hunky-dory. Oftentimes, it can be very gritty. It can be very ugly. And a lot of what, well, at least these last 2 videos, you know, they've seemed to be that. With the Chris video, I was expecting it. With the Remy video, I don't know. I've taken plenty of drug tests throughout my life. And I've had from the brightest yellow, like a manila envelope, colored sample, to as clear as what was provided to us by Remy. I guess I was just more happy to be able to share with you guys the fact that he passed. Or at least in terms of the test, those results came back all negative. No positives at all. A lot of people said there should have been positives. And honestly, those results at this point mean nothing. Because it seems like a fair amount of people, a lot of people, don't believe those results at all. Don't even believe that that was a legit test, a legit sample provided for that test. I want to believe that Remy didn't try to cheat the test. And the only defense that I can offer up to that, because if I say I want to believe that Remy didn't attempt to cheat the test, then I'm basically saying that I believe that the test was legit and that he actually passed. And the only defense that I can offer up as any type of rebuttal to people who don't believe that it was legit or that it even was a real sample is in that first update video we did with Remy, you know, the man admitted that he had relapsed. So if he had done it then, why the hell wouldn't he do it this time when faced with actually having to prove whether or not he was using or not using? I know I ain't gonna be able to change your minds. I don't intend to do so. That's not the purpose of this right here. The purpose of this right here is to just give you my feedback, my opinion. And not only my response, but also my reasoning for, you know, what we did with Remy and also with this guy, Chris, who's renting to own a moped from us. And the reasoning is because everybody's story and struggle is different. And not every story is going to be a likable one. Not every person is going to be a likable person. But as the captain of this After Prison Show ship, it is my intention and my hope to work with in whatever facet we can with any individual who we're able to work with in an effort to try in some kind of a way to help that person stand a better chance after prison. I'm going to wrap this up. I didn't want to make this super long. It's probably already too long as it is. If you're still watching this, I want to say thank you. If you rock with After Prison Show and you believe in what we do and, you know, you're a part of this thing, it means the world to me to have you believe in something that I've created almost 4 years ago that has still been operational to this day. I do the best that I can. I don't always get it right. If I make a mistake, I will own up to it. If I am proven wrong, I've got no problem saying, hey, I messed up. And I guess I should probably say, hey, I messed up right now. I messed up. I should have paid way more attention to that sample that was provided to us by Remy. And what I mean by that is by either sending it off to a lab or saying, hey, Remy, this is too clear. People aren't going to believe that this is real. Why were you running the water in the bathroom? And if I'm totally wrong, I'm truly sorry. So again, I thank each and every one of you for being a part of After Prison Show and for also allowing me to try to address this situation. We will move on, immediately. There's a lot that we're doing. There's a lot that we are hopeful of doing. There's a lot that we are continuing to do. And we are going to keep moving forward. That's all we can do. And I truly hope that you will continue to be along for the ride. Thank you.